Right after the publication and the adoption of the GFSI hygienic design benchmarking requirements J1 and J2, it became very clear to all food industry stakeholders that hygienic design risk assessment will become a very integral part of hygienic design management or food safety management. And that is why EHEDG decided to establish a new working group to offer support to all of you members and to develop a guideline, an EHEDG guideline document 58 on this specific topic, hygienic design, risk management. And with us today are two members of this working group who will hold a webinar soon on this topic. And we are here to talk to them about the guideline and about the webinar. Their names are Lucia Portanet, who calls in from Spain, and Xu Yi, who calls in from China, and they both work for EHEDG company member Tetra Pak. Yi, could you start by introducing yourself, please?
I'm food safety specialist from Tetra Pak Processing Solution and Equipment. In this role, I work together with my peers, develop our global strategy and procedures towards better hygiene design for our equipment and line solution delivering to the customer. Prior to Tetra Pak, I was working for food producing companies, including Nestle and Coca-Cola, with focusing on food safety and quality management, as well as auditing.
Lucia, what's your background?
I'm food safety specialist in Tetra Pak. As main responsibilities, I'm coordinating the network of food safety officers within Europe. And within this, I'm working a lot with hygienic design risk management for the projects that we deliver to our customers. But I'm also responsible to drive globally the cleaning technology network.
What would you consider is the difference between hygienic design risk assessment and hygienic design risk management?
In an easy word, hygienic risk assessment is part of the hygiene design risk management. The management is a big approach which can be applied by the food producers as well as the equipment suppliers or building constructors while they are processing different products.
Within the hygienic design risk management, you start with the identification of the risks and what we call it hygienic design risk assessment. So here is where you identify, analyze, and evaluate the risks, and then we would go through the risk reduction process. And here the key advantages of this guideline is that we are promoting the mitigation of the risks through the hygienic design objectives and principles. We are presenting a step-by-step approach methodology to understand the hygienic design risk management, also supported with examples and with checklists, which it makes it very practical for the end user of the guideline.
Now, you both contributed to the development of this new EHEDG guideline document. What are the main elements of this document?
There are actually two main portions in the guideline. One is the general consideration of hygiene design objectives and definitions, as well as the setup of hygiene design risk management in different applications. And the other is the recommended process and procedures of hygiene design risk management exclusion with a few, let's say, tangible examples, template, checklist to provide it.
Lucia, will this document also help food producers to make smart investment decisions?
So it will help the users or the food manufacturers in this aspect to decide if they need to invest or if they can continue with the equipment. There is a very nice approach from a risk reduction process perspective in this guideline developed, which is from the most efficient and reliable control measure or reduction measure to the less effective and reliable one, up to what we reaches what we call the work instructions or the information for use that will be provided to the end user. This is from the equipment perspective. So within the webinar, we will also be showing a few examples on this perspective, which I think it can be very interesting.
Yes, let's focus on this upcoming webinar now. Yi, what will you address in it and who is it for?
The webinar is, let's say, supposed to showcase the rationale and application of risk management for hygiene design over the whole life cycle stages. So therefore, all stakeholders in the chain, the food manufacturing chain, will be benefit from the webinar, including, the engineers, manufacturing, quality, and the purchasing colleagues from both food manufacturers, equipment suppliers, and building constructors.
Lucia, will this guideline also help you as a food safety specialist at Tetra Pak to offer better advice to your colleagues who develop new solutions?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from Tetra Pak perspective, we have been implementing hygienic design risk management for years. This is, as you were mentioning, also a part of cost reductions from an environmental and resources perspective as well. So the better we hygienically design our equipment, the less cost for the operational part at a food manufacturer it will be.
Yi, you worked both for food processing as well as for food equipment producing companies. Would you say that there are significant differences in the way that these different types of companies approach this hygienic design risk management topic?
Yes, actually, there are differences. For food manufacturers, they are more focused on the processing itself, as well as the product quality, the final product quality. Whereas for the equipment manufacturers, they have less knowledge or experience in relation to the food producing. So they have to acquire the knowledge from the food producers regarding, the intended use and regarding the other, food characteristics or the processing features to understand what type of equipment the food producer will need. Okay, so they have different angles when it comes to the hygiene design. So in this guideline, it is actually trying to cover both sides. Okay, it is to give a systematic approach for both food producers and equipment manufacturers. How should a let's say comprehensive hygiene design risk management to be arranged in the entity?
Lucia, Portanet, and Xu Yi, thank you very much for your contribution, and we are looking forward to your webinar.
Thank you.
Great. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rob, for the interviewing.
Well, dear viewer, I think it's time to register. Did I mention that it's a completely free of charge webinar? So the link is up there and down there. See you at the webinar.